पर चित्रा, जो बात अभी कविता ने कही है, सिचुएशन इतनी खराब क्यों हुई, ये महत्वपूर्ण सवाल है। वाई दिस, अगर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट समझ में आता है, उनके बीच में एक एनिमिटी समझ में आती है, लेकिन स्थिति इतनी खराब हो जाए कि 3 महीने तक लोग एक दूसरे के खून के प्यासे हुए, एक दूसरे के घरों को जलाएं, एक दूसरे के महिलाओं के साथ बलात्कार करें, उनके साथ रेप करें, पब्लिक परेड करें, आई थिंक व्हाट हैज गॉन रॉन्ग? चित्रा, you have to unmute yourself.
What has gone wrong is the fact that that the violence has been allowed to happen. I was just mentioning this in another panel discussion. The fact that there has never been an instance in India where large-scale violence, sectarian violence, has been going on past the 10-day, 1 week to 10-day milestone. You always get flag marches done. You get the system running. And you get things under control. That has happened in every sectarian violence that this country has faced. The partition was a little bit long drawn out, but after that, once the government came into place, once we had representatives, once we had an administration, if you look at the history of violence in India, sectarian violence, you will see that violence has been able to be contained. So the fact of the matter is that if this has been allowed to happen in Manipur, it is not just the chief minister in play here. It has got to get the tacit approval of the central leadership as well. So that is there. Now, having said that, I just want to also put a caution on using words like majority and hateful politics. The fact that the majority population of Manipur are Meiteis, who happen to be Hindus, should not and must not be equated with the Hindutva identity of Hinduism as we know it. The Meiteis were not Hindus until 200 years ago. And that conversion to Hinduism came because the king at that point of time passed a decree that everybody of his community should convert to Hinduism. It was a violent transition as well, because whoever was resisting to that idea of taking on Hinduism was expelled, was killed. So, it is a fact that if you go into any Meitei household, you will see that there is a sacred space for our indigenous gods and goddess, as much as there is a Tulsi plant there. So there is this majority and hateful politics that has been described. It's got nothing to do with what is happening in Manipur at hand. What is happening in Manipur comes from a variety of factors. A variety of factors where, number one, that anxiety over resources, the anxiety over the fact that more jobs are being deprived to the majority community, and there is an anxiety there. And the fact that, and the simple fact that on 3rd May, when there was a peace rally happening and when the internet was still available at that point of time, there were visuals of well-armed personnel belonging to militant groups who were taking part in the peace rally. And on 3rd May, violence had started breaking out by 10 in the morning. And violence went on not just in one part of the state, but in 2 different parts of the state, which was one in Churachandpur and one was in More. So that is what has happened. Now, what has happened? Because of the video surfacing. It is sad that it has taken a video for people to realize that there is something that's been going on in Manipur for the past 2.5 months. That's the apathy that we live in this country. This is the 4th discussion that I've been on since 8 o'clock today evening. I've never been on as many shows in a year as I've been on today. So that is one impact. Why? Because the visuals are very powerful. Number 2, why is it that that people don't get it, that when there is violence, when there is a fractured and heightened sense of violence happening between 2 communities, there will be violence that will be happening on women, because women and children are the ones who will bear the brunt of it. And yet it doesn't take away the horror of what has happened to these women. It is not about Kuki women, it's not about Meitei women, it's about women, period. A rape is a rape, and the way the fact that they didn't know whether they would get out of it alive, the fear that they must have felt when people were baying for their blood, that's totally that's totally unacceptable. But Kavita was speaking earlier, and she talked about how militarized people are running amok, and people are saying that people belonging to the majority community are not speaking about them. I'm sorry to tell you, but there are people who have spoken against them, and these people cannot stay in Manipur. They are taking shelter outside the state. So is it easy for those people? Are you there for those people who have had to stay out of Manipur for the past 2.5 months because that person?
सत्य हिंदी का ऐप डाउनलोड करें गूगल प्ले स्टोर पर।